G'day, it's Ninja here. I'm going to show you one of the most common treatments we do here at Melbourne Muscular. So I'm going to go in the shoulder blades and then we're going to work up in the neck. So a lot of headaches and restriction through your shoulder start in the shoulder blade. So I'm going to show you how we work through the thoracic and through the shoulder blade and then the neck. Okay, so our first strokes are going to be pretty slow and deliberate, but they're also serving as warming up strokes. So really try and get in close to the spine there and work and weave right in there. So in there, might be a few little clicks and stuff, so as the spine adjusts, just because of a bit of pressure in there, but I'm not going to force it. So really try and work that superficial fascia out, superficial muscles out for a start, and get a bit of a gauge of what's going on in the person's body. So nice and slow, as you can see there, and work right into these little nooks and crannies along the spine, like that. So the next stroke can be a bit deeper. We can use the elbow. So what we want to do is get the forearm really engaged with the body, up there like that, and then connect in, and then you can kind of weave in to the little nooks and crannies along the spine. Change your angle so you can kind of get right into where those stuck bits are in between the spinous processes. How's it going, Soph? You alright? Just yell out if I'm going a bit heavy. Therapeutic. Yeah, you can really weave in there, and the shape of your elbow, you can change it just by turning your hand around a little bit or just moving your arm, so you can kind of get that shape of your elbow, the point of your bones, into those little shapes of the spine. So that's where it kind of gets caught in these little muscles, these little bits in between the spine, like that. And so if we find a spot where it's really caught up, we can really get in there like that, find a spot and then scoop it out like that. So just really hold it, wait for that tissue to respond and melt, and we want to change its physical state from that solid, blocked up, compressed, jammed state into a more of a liquefied state, so it can flow again, and all the stuff that's been stuck in there, the dead cells and the calciums and stuff that have been stuck in there and making it really hard, get that to break down into a lot smaller particles and then create the flow again. So then when there's flow, healing can happen. Just do another little scoop in there like that, right in, and then scoop it out. So that sort of scooping stuff can be wherever. So another common spot is right up in here. So I'll just do a quick one in here. So it can be right in here. People with their posture is not great, looking at screens or driving and stuff like that, in here can really get solidified up. So you can get in there and then just scoop it right down. The purpose of the video, we'll move on a bit. So we'll go in the shoulder blade. So we've found a lot of times this is where people have all their problems. So headaches can be referred from the muscles where they're originating inside the shoulder blade, and then they kind of end up in the neck. So you can kind of really get into and warm up those tendons. So this is where all the problems generally start, is right in close and underneath that shoulder blade. So right in there. So I can feel a really good one there on Soph. So when we're working in this manner, the body tells you where it needs the work. So the stroke will go along nicely where it's clear and functional, but when there's dysfunction and blocks and pain, that stroke will get stopped because that is really solid and just not flowing as well. So when the muscle is at rest and it's relaxed, it should be squishy and soft, be able to be compressed and stretch out a bit. When it's really solid at rest, that's kind of given us a sign that it's dysfunctional, and there's work that needs to be done there to clear that out. And so the pain as well, that can be a really great indicator. So there's lots of intelligence in the pain, intelligence in the body, and then you can really tap into that and use that as useful information on how to heal the body, how to fix it up, how to clear out that stuff. So do that with the pisiform, but then you can really get in there with the elbow as well. So you can weave that elbow in underneath that shoulder blade and change your angles, get right in under there and clear it out like that. Changing the angles, changing the amount of the forearm is connecting with the person. Getting right underneath there like that. So I'm on a good spot there. So what I could do is just camp on that, just really park on there for a bit, and then wait for that to melt a bit. But then what I could do is I could shift my weight around and try and scoop that out. I'll do it with a thumb because it's easier to kind of see what I'm doing. So I want to get right underneath the shoulder blade there so I can pick that up a bit, and then I want to really pin that and then scoop that out like that, because it's stuck there. It's really solid, like a bit of rope, and we want to melt that and then keep on melting it. And so you keep on going with a stroke like this until you can feel that tension really out, the solidness is really out like that. Yeah, scooping. So yeah, you'd go wherever those sort of lines of tension are. So it might be here, might be here, might be up in the traps, upper traps a bit more. So upper traps, you can work them like this. So one hand can be the anchor and move it around a bit, so shorten it to when you need to. So we can shorten that tissue so that softens it. So just shorten it like that, softens it, then we can get right into where those bits have started, where it's really stagnant and solid. Work it like that, and then we just scoop it away from where it's trapped into. To really encourage that tissue out of where it's trapped. Trapped in the trap. There we go. And another little move I like to do, so you keep on going with that. You do whatever, honor whatever the tissue is telling you to do. If it's taken ages to respond and melt, you just got to take ages on it. Just honor that. So what I like doing is getting up in under here and trying to get into the transverse processes and all the muscles in between. So when they're in a nice relaxed position like this, you can really push up and hit these spots like that, and then you can start to explore. So my thumb is actually doing a little circle in here around the transverse process like that, and I'm trying to really try and find where these spots are stuck. And when people are in this nice relaxed position on the table, that can be really exposed. When you're sitting up, that the tissues kind of get a bit more tense around it because of the weight of your arms and things like that. So you can't really hit these spots. So you can push right up in and connect with those spots that are stuck and just hold them until they start to melt like that. So you can really explore right in here. You can kind of work from the clavicle, the collarbone, along the scalenes, and really start to work them out as well, like that. So and we'll just move on to the neck a little. So with the neck, we want to go into the kind of the money spot straight up. So underneath the skull, where the neck muscles join into the skull, they are ones that really get jammed up and solid. So you might really relate to this. So right underneath there. So what we can do is try and melt under there and then keep that connection and shimmy along until you hit another spot. So there's another really good one there. So just wait on that. Hold it, wait. And then what you can do is just really try and explore angles. So you might try and spear up even more up under and really connect up where that's kind of started like that. So really wait on it, have that patience to hold it and wait for that to melt. Because at the start, the tissues might be going that flight or fight type of thing, trying to fight it. But once they know that it's kind of good for it, and there's a sense that it's good pain. So a lot of times there's an internal knowing that it's good for you, that it's for the greater good, and you don't want to repress those feelings. Though, go into that where you know that that's that's what it is, and work with the person that's working on you to tell them, yeah, that's good, or nah, that's too traumatic. I'm not ready. The tissue's too fragile, not ready to be worked yet. So you can kind of work within those frames. So we can just work right along the skull. We can work right out to here. But what I want to show you is like a scoop on the neck, which can be one of the most effective things. So one good scoop on a neck, or a muscle on a neck that's been jammed, can be for 10 or 20 years. That can be something that just fixes it in that one session. So what I want to do, get right in there like that. It might be a bit hard to see with the camera, but I'm going to get right in there like that. So you want to get right in there, up there, and hold it. And then once that tissue starts to melt and respond, then you change your angle and encourage that out from where it's been stuck. So right up in there. So we want to get that tissue and encourage it out. Let's get that here out a little. So encourage along. So you really strong kind of pressure, but the neck, these particular muscles in the neck, they actually really respond well to that pressure. So you're just going at the rate the tissue's unraveling at, and going where the tissue is really sort of stuck. And then when you're in between the spinous processes, you can kind of start to weave in and work into these spots where the tissue's really kind of stuck. So you can kind of get the picture there. So this might take 10 minutes to do one kind of little strip. So what I'd like doing at this sort of point too is like, hey Soph, can you just move your neck around and just tell me how it's feeling on this left-hand side for me? The shoulder blades a bit too, and just sort of tell me where you can feel anything that's stuck, or anything that's just a bit feels good. Say, so I'll probably fix there, but say if there was something that was still a bit stuck, that they can kind of sense where it's cleared, and then something that's perhaps still stuck in their body, then you can go and do some more specific work on that particular place. Because using the pain and them just pointing that, yeah, it's still stuck here a little bit, then you actually pinpoint and target that bit, and then you can kind of get them to move their neck a little bit and work it. So let's do a little something like that. So say you've got a spot in here, so we just go target that spot, hold it, and then work it out from where it's stuck in, like that. Just hold it, and then just wait and have that patience and just that feel, I suppose, that the tissue has responded and it's cleared now. And then just test again, so just move around. How's that feel now? Type of thing. So you just work like that. So it might go shift to another spot now because the tension's taken off in one spot. So then the awareness will go to somewhere else. So you just keep on working around like that, and then by doing that, you just get the job done. So wherever the tension is, wherever the block is, you just systematically work on it. With this kind of technique as well, it's really slow, thorough, and kind of nurturing in its way as well, and just using the intelligence of the body, where the pain is, how it feels. Is it traumatic or is it a good pain? So using that system, you can clear headaches and stiffness in the neck, lack of range. It's been there perhaps for 20 years, doesn't matter. You can still work on it and fix it. So got neck, shoulder problems, with the guys, fix you up. So we'll see you soon, huh?